everyone, it's Jill. Welcome back to the She Shed. I'm the FiberFloozie. How is everybody? I know it's been a while since I've done one of these sit down in the She Sheds. And so I just want to get y'all caught up. Let's see, it's been a few days since I've actually done a video. I think it's been over a week. I did do a live last Friday and last Saturday, which I am going to do again this week. I am in Texas, West Texas. I have lots of new people, so I really wanted to let y'all know that I live out in the boondocks, the sticks, BFE, if you know what that means. Yeah. I hope that you will hit the like button and subscribe and all of those things, but you don't have to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And that's kind of the gist of my channel. It's eclectic. I've always been eclectic. I've always been kind of all over the place. I'm not ADHD because I don't have that kind of energy. I'm just AD, which means I can't keep my mind focused. I'm just all over the place. I do a lot of different crafts. There's a lot of different crafts that I want to do. I'm always wanting to do stuff. So knit, crochet. I know how to cross stitch. I don't do a lot of it, but I do have some kits. I have some kits that I want to do that are different types of crafts. So I want to talk about that in a minute too. But that may be a separate video because I want to show you all that I have right now in my inventory. So we'll talk about that. And I want to show you some things I finished. This is my pattern. This is the Willow Arches Redo. That's the original Willow Arches there. Now the reason that I have this on, and we will talk about this again towards the end, because I know a lot of people don't want to hear the whole blah 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 blah, I don't feel good, blah blah blahs. So I'll do that at the end if you'd like to stay, and I will do my health updates and what's going on with my dad, who moved here. Gosh, it's hard to believe he's been here a year, you guys. Yeah. So I have this on because I'm going from hot to cold. And this is what it looks like. So I redid it going in blocks of color. So you have 3 colors, and you start at one end and you go to the other, and when you finish the other end, you are done. And it has a scallop on either end to finish it off. I will leave links. I do not have a tutorial for this one, not for the redo, but I do have a tutorial for that one. Now, if you are a member, you get the tutorial. If you buy the pattern, you get the tutorial, okay? And if you have bought the pattern and you don't get the tutorial, please email me and let me know. And I will make sure that you have a proper link to it. So yeah, the Willow Arches Redo. And I striped it is what I did. So I started with this color, and then I put a stripe of the second color, and then I changed to the third color, and I put stripes of the first and the second color, and then I finished with that other color, and I put a stripe of the first color in here, or you know what I'm saying. And I didn't like it finished off with this color, so I finished it off with this lighter color. Yeah. So you can also do that when you get the pattern. You can do whatever you wish as far as your color scheme goes. You can make it all in one color, or you can do it in 3 blocks of color, you know, dink, 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 or you can put the stripes in like I did. So it's very versatile, and this is done in fingering weight, but you can do it in any weight of yarn. and you can do that one in any weight of yarn. I haven't done that one in fingering weight yarn. I have done that one in a DK weight yarn, and I love it in the DK. Both of these would be really great in a DK yarn. My printer has decided it needed to do something. Does y'all's printer do that? Randomly go off and say, well, we gotta readjust. I didn't ask it. I'm not over there. Okay. My big finish. Oh, I dropped it, Serbs. I have a big finish. So let me switch this out and show you. I finished the scarf that I was making, and this is from a pattern, and this is, you pull this off of the shelves at Hobby Lobby, and it's this one. There's a scarf and a shawl in here, and this, they used I Love This yarn for it, and you'll see right there, there's a color that's a pop color, so you only use it for 3 rows. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3 colors, and then the 4th color, you only do these 3 rows. So there's 1 row of it on each of the other 3. I did find mistakes in here. Now I used Loops and Threads Michael's yarn for this. Come a little bit closer. See, there's that pop down at the bottom. And then there it is here. I love this shawl. I absolutely love this shawl. I really like it done this way. And I can imagine if I had a peacoat and it would hang down the front. Oh, it's wonderful. I love the way it turned out. So I used Loops and Threads Merino, Luxe Merino. This color is white, but it's a creamy white. This color here is Stormy. And then I dropped the other one. This one is blue something. But you know what? It's silvery blue. Let's put it that way. The blue that I have in here is definitely making it pop more blue. So I'm glad that I picked the blue of this other one. This other one is Woolly's Air. It's a big fluff. And this one's called Ice. Yeah, this one's called Ice. Now they've got this listed as a 6. It's really not a 6, it's just because of the fluff. And if you were running this like out long ways, okay, that's gonna make sense. Hold on. And doing stitch by stitch, it would work up as a bulky 5. The reason I say that is because I did not doing it this way, where I made these stitches that went between the other stitches, made it stand up and puff, and they look like clouds to me. And that made it a little more bulky. So I would say if you looked at it here, you would think it was a 6, the way it puffs. So it's just going to depend on your gauge in how you use this yarn, okay? That's going to depend on your gauge. The other one is a DK weight yarn, and it is a true, I mean tried and true DK weight yarn, and it is amazing to work with. I love this yarn. I want more of this yarn. It is so drapey, and I used a J. I used the Prim that I bought, the Prim J hook. I love this hook. I love this hook. I'm using the knitting needles too. I love the Prim. These feel so good in my hand. I have sort of a fat across here, and fat fingers because of my arthritis, and this sits so nice, and I'm a knife holder. It sits so nice. I have that little bit to push and pull when I do my stitching. I don't often put my thumb here, but if I'm doing stuff, my thumb has plenty of room. There's a lot of shaft. That's what she said. And what I like about the head on this, because I am not an inline girl, I'm just not. However, this one is a combination of the boy type hook and the inline, which would be like a Susan Bates. It's kind of in between, and it works great. Now it is plastic, so it does have a slight squeak to it with some yarn, and I had a little bit of squeaking when I was working on some of the stitches, but it wasn't enough to bother me. I didn't have any problem with it. The mistakes. When I got to was still in the first section, and when I got to row 14 in the pattern, 14, 15, and 16, for me, did not come out like the pattern says. So my suggestion is, whatever you're doing, be sure that you count your stitches. It gives you stitch counts at the end of the rows. I would be sure you count your stitches, count your loops, count your clusters, all of those things, to make sure that you are counting correctly, because those 3 rows came out differently for me. However, the rest of it was fine. I didn't have any problem, except that when I got to the end of some of the rows, I didn't have as many stitches. So on the row where you're going and doing a regular row, double crochets and all of the stitches, I didn't have as many stitches as some of them. So maybe that is why I had an issue. Maybe when I started, I did not have the right amount of stitches. I would have to completely go back and check it, because I lost track of my stitches as far as counting them. Something was off somewhere. But it's not a big deal, because everything is fairly even, like fairly evenly spaced, so it all worked out, and I didn't have any problem getting through the whole pattern, and it turned out really nice and big. Let me see if I can fold it in half. I've not measured it, I've not washed it, I've not blocked it. I bought a steamer and I want to steam this one and see how steam blocking it goes. But here is folded in half. And that is, so I would say it's probably 5.5 feet across, I would say. Because if I measure it in quarters, y'all want to do some math? Well, it's 15, 30, 60. Yeah, so it's stretched out. It's just over 5 feet. Thank you for being even that I didn't have to do it. It's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's a triangular, so you have one point here and one point on either end. But oh, it's just beautiful. Okay, I'm moving on. Moving on to the next thing. Oh, and I as you can see, I did not use much of that one. And I used all but one little ball of this color, this icy color, which was towards the end. I used all but that much of that. And I used every bit of this one, all of this one, and ran out. I lost at Yarn Chicken. So I had to go back. You probably won't be able to tell because I can't hardly see it. If I didn't know where to look for it, I wouldn't see it. But right here, I lost at Yarn Chicken, and I still had this last row of it to go where I was introducing the new color. And I found a yarn over here on my wall that was a sport weight, and I had, no, more of a 1, and I had to hold it double to make it a 3 weight, and it worked out perfect, and you can't even tell where it's at. I know where it's at. So, love that. But make sure that you have as much yarn as they say. Now, I want to do the scarf that's in here now. But I don't know if I have enough of that cream color because I have a substantial amount of that cream color left. And I don't know. I could do these puffs with this, you know. So I think that's what I will do, but I don't think I will have enough of the cream to do it. So I have to find a different yarn to do that with. But wouldn't that be pretty with this as the puffs? So, great pull off. I like to do that every now and then because they have them there. I didn't use the yarn from Hobby Lobby, but you could. You absolutely could, and then you would know you had enough yarn. Okay. If you remember, I used my Addy, and I was going to make these into preemie hats, but they were too long to be preemie hats. Now this is the Big Twist yarn, 100% acrylic, and the color is Rainbow Wish. Okay, this is a 4 weight, and I used every bit of it and still had to add a little bit of a white to it to finish these. But I got 4 strips. Got 4 strips done. These 2 strips were a little bit shorter and actually came out a little bit tighter. And I don't know why. Now this is using the Addy Express, so the smaller one, to make these. And I had Cheryl on after I finished these, and she and I were talking about it and said, she's like, no, that's not gonna work as a preemie because it would be too tall. Even folded over, it would be too tall for a preemie. It'd be like a way too slouchy. So we decided, I liked her idea of making them into leg warmers, children's leg warmers. They could also be, if it was a smaller person, you know, with a smaller, like not my size arm, they could be an arm warmer as well. But I think they're perfect as leg warmers. So I finished off the ends of them with this creamy yarn. I went in and hold on. Okay, that was a visit from Mr. Fiber. He was looking for a rubber band. And I have my rubber band ball in my drawer over there. So he is home today. Yesterday he tweaked his back. As you know, he had a wreck. Some of you may not know, but he had a wreck. And he compressed 3 discs during the wreck. And every now and then, if he turns just wrong, as we all know, I say it that way because you're just doing that normal stuff that you do, and then it catches and it takes your breath away, and that's what happened. So yeah, he came home early yesterday and he laid down and rested, and then today he's home just sort of like, because when he's at work he has to do lifting. Here he can just move around a little bit and sit and rest a bit, and move around and sit and rest, which is what, I'm sorry, but if you have back problems, that's just what works most of the time. So I am gonna put this, so I'm not, as usually happens when Mr. Fiber comes in, I get hot. We have this connection. So I took a crochet hook and I picked up the loops, and I did the pickups row, and then I did a second row of just single crochets all the way around. And then I did have to go in on the inside because that left right around underneath where I picked up, it left that row of thread that kind of sits loosely around there, and I picked that out with the crochet hook and cut that and then tuck the end in, and that's how I finished these. So I have these that are similar, and then this one with the white on it, but they are very similar as in their colors. These are almost matching. So 2 sets of leg warmers from the Addy, and that was my first time using the small Addy. I like it. It's easy to set here in my chair and not use the drill or anything, and just crank and watch TV. That size is. I've not tried to do that with my bigger Addy. I want to get my Addie out and do some hat and scarf sets. I've been watching Carrie Penny, and she has been doing that. She's got a couple of buckets of yarn that she pulled out of her stash that she wants to use up doing that, and try to use as much yarn as she could. And I've enjoyed watching what she's accomplished doing that with her Addie. And so I think I would like to do that. I really think that, well, that's something that I decided I would do when I got that Addie, you know? And so I need to just buckle down and do it. Okay, I finished a knit hat. Y'all know, I don't know if I showed them on a video, but I did 2 hats. They were Bago Day hats. I think I did do a video. And I took what was left of that yarn and put it into this hat. Now there's not a pattern for this. But I really like it. It's such a cool hat. That yarn just keeps giving, because this is, I don't have the label here for it, but this is the Big Twist Reverb. There's bits of a lot of colors in here. There's like a purpley pink, light pink, and then that black running through it. And that's what I have left. I did those 2 crochet hats, which are adult size hats, and then I did this one, which is knit. And I still have this left. So I think this is, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this right now. I'm kind of thinking about doing another knit one, and maybe reversing and putting this color on the top instead of the bottom. And I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. What's your ideas? That's kind of where I think I'm going with it. Now the bottom color is Big Twist Rave, and I got a ton of it left. These turned out to be the perfect things to do together because they are a single, which is a roving type yarn, both of them, and the same size. The Reverb has a tiny bit of a true roving, which is thick and thin in places, but not super thick. It just is not consistently the same, but it's not enough to call it thicker than this one is. That makes sense. So they're both labeled as 4, but they're roving type yarns, and they worked up great together. This one is called Icy Blue. It's teal. If it's teal, it's Jill. So there's that hat. And I think I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to start with this color and then put this color in. And the pattern is simply running both colors together and just going every other with the colors. And then I moved it over and did every other, and then moved it back and did every other. So back and forth, I just adjusted where I switched them, and then went straight in. I thought about doing it where I do the 1 and then I do 2 stitches and a 1. I don't know yet. I have to decide. I really like it though. I likes it a lot. So there's that one. What else? I think that's all my finishes. I believe so. Now we're on to whips. Okay, so my whips, the one thing I'm really, really working on now, I don't have anything else over here that I'm working on because I really haven't worked on my other projects. Okay, that'll have to be a different video, but oh, I forgot a couple of finishes. Oh well, it's okay, I'll show you. I finished a couple of washcloths. I may have shown these already, but all the doctor's appointments, we got these done. This is Red Heart Scrubby Smoothie, and this is Yarn Bee. I love this cotton. I don't know the colorways. This is so soft. And this one is soft, but not as soft as this yarn. But it's nice when you knit with it. So these are my two favorite cottons. Everything else feels a little too hard on my hands. Maybe I'm being picky. And you know it's okay. So I'm doing the next commission. I need to get this done because I have another one to do as well. I have all my stuff at the end down there and I'm adjusting. I've got pockets is done. So we got 2 pockets. One sleeve. So what happens is this part right here gets set into the sweater and it folds and makes the sleeve, and it's sewn up here, and then you sew down the side of the sweater and you sew this into. So there's one sleeve. Yarn or something. Oh, you know what it was? That was my everything bagel seasoning that I put on my toast. And then here is the back. You can see this is where that sleeve goes. It sets, it's an inset sleeve. So it goes right in here. Gets sewn in here. This is where the collar will go. So this is the back. And I'm working on the second sleeve. So I've already started the second sleeve here. And I made it a little bit longer. So what I did is I did 10 rows in this garter stitch. The sleeves are done in all garter. And I did 10 rows before I started the pattern. So I cast on, did 10 rows, and then started the pattern, which will give it a little bit more length. It'll come probably to about here when she puts it on. Now, my needle stoppers are these little gnomes. And I thought these guys were perfect for this one because this sweater's for Elena, and she's a shorty thing. Gnomes. Love you, Elena. Elena is my sugar mama. Now let me explain. Her mother worked for Hershey's. So her mom they send her mom candy. It's like candy for life after she retired. And so she shares that with Elena, and Elena puts it in her desk drawer. She works with my daughter. And so whenever I visit and I go up to the office, I get in the drawer and get some candy. So she's my sugar mama. She's so sweet. She's so funny. I love Elena. I love everybody that she works with. So Shorty, sugar mama, working on that. Now the yarn is Premier Parfait Chunky, and this one is cream. You all know I did one for Jasmine, which was in the gray color, and she loves it, but I don't have her permission to show you pictures of it, but y'all saw it when I finished it. I'm using, now I noticed that Matt had just bought some of these. Matt the Rockin' Crocheter, if you don't know him, I will leave a link to his channel. Go over and check him out. He's just starting out. I saw him on Russ live with Russ from It's Raining Yarn, and I will leave both of their channels, but they're a lot of fun. They do a late night, and when I'm up and I catch it and I see that they're on, I catch it. It's just the way it rolls around here. It's a wire, no memory at all. These are the ergonomic. They have 3 sides, and they have the little knob at the end. And let me tell you, when you're working with this type of yarn, which is very loosey-goosey, very soft, blanket yarn, that little knob on there is amazing with this yarn. It really is. So Matt, if you happen to watch this, I will tell you, you're gonna love those Prim needles. Now the sweater is, if you don't know, is the Floozie sweater. This is a sweater that I have been making live with my subscribers. I had a make along for it. I showed how to do it live on my channel, and I did mine in black. I did my youngest daughter's in a light gray. I did my oldest daughter's in a dark gray. I did one gray, for Jasmine. Now I'm doing Elena's, and then Jasmine wants a purple, so she's gonna get a purple one, and then Cheryl's gonna get a purple one, and then I have, yeah. I've done a lot of Floozie sweaters, and I do have a video showing how to put it together after you make it. The pattern is not written up. It's based on a pattern that I found in a magazine, and I made it to suit me. And I have all of the specs now to do it in a 5-weight yarn, which is something I always tell y'all, when you're using this Parfait Chunky, it actually works out more like a 5-weight than a 6-weight that the label says, okay? So I have not written it up for the 5 or for the 6, but I have written the instructions in the bottom of those videos where I've talked about it. So someday I need to go back and write it up. I think that's everything that I have finished or that I have worked on. So now I do have a few other things to show you, because me being me, I've been floozing around. One more thing, I forgot to tell you that with the hat, okay, the Floozie sweater and the 5-weight yarn, I'm using an 11 size US 11 needle, which is a 6, I think. I believe that's a 6.0. And then the hat, I'm using an 8, and this is the Addy Rockets. And they have that same, these are square, there's 4 sides, okay? But that's the Addy Rocket, and this one's a fixed. I like doing 16-inch. circular. I like doing the 8s with that size yarn that's more of a heavier 4. And then if I use a regular size 4, which is closer to a decayed weight, the regular, like I love this yarn, you know how it's sometimes a little bit smaller, I use a 7. And I have a hat pattern, and I based that other hat on my hat pattern. I just didn't increase and do the pattern in it, which is the paws. Is that it? Yes. And the other thing I'm working on, and I forgot to tell y'all about it, is this one. I know, Shannon, I have to get busy on it, but I was trying to get some of the sweater done. I'm using Mandala Ombre. This is a members make for Shannon at Art Junkie. And we are doing, during the members make, we are doing scrap blankets. You can use whatever you want to make. We did 140 stitches, and you do 8 rows of half double crochets. And then I was the only one commenting during the live, so, well, I was the main one commenting. And so she asked me to choose the next one, which will be cream color in V stitches. So that's 10 rows, sorry, 10 rows of the half double, and then 10 rows of the V stitches to get caught up with the members make for Shannon at Art Junkie. And I will leave her link down below. This will be my cream color. I don't even have labels for this one. This is an oddball from my stash. Okay, now I went to Michael's. No, I didn't. I went to Hobby Lobby. I did not buy yarn. I looked at yarn, but I did not buy yarn. And this is where I'm going to talk about the kits. So I have a whole bunch of kits that I have on my pegboard. I'm going to pull those off and do a video and show you all the kits that I have and talk about all the things that I would like to do in the new year, because I had talked about doing it this year and I did not do it. I just did not do it. I've had a lot of health issues. We'll talk about that too. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby. Isn't he cute? He is a koala. This is a needle felting kit by Feltworks, which is by Dimensions. Now they are the ones that do all of the cross stitch stuff. It's 100% wool. This was $9.99. This was not 30% off week, and this was not on sale. But it has the wool in it. It has the little tool in here. So everything is in it that you need to make this kit. $9.99. So I'm going to start pulling kits, and I want to at least do one per month, because I have several things that I want to try. I want to do the needle felting. I want to do I have some crochet kits. I'll be showing you that, so be looking for that video. So I got that. I bought 2 packages of paint. One is acrylic and one is gouache. I don't know if I said that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the difference in those yarns. Paints. I don't know the difference in those paints. But I'm going to play with them, and I'm going to see what I can do with them. So, and they were, I thought, because the Fine Touch and something else were 40% off. So I thought that those were 40% off. And when I checked out, she did not give me a discount on those. And I asked her, and she said That's because the two that I bought had the little yellow tag in the corner. Those are not 40% off. But it's okay. I still wanted them. One was like $8 and one was $9. They weren't a whole lot. But I did think I was going to get them for a really good price. I didn't. These were also not on sale, but I really wanted them. This one is Doodle Everything. And I am inspired by Nancy at Little Treasures by Nancy, because she does her What the Sketch. I will leave a link to her channel also. We will do a flip through of these at my desk at some point. And then I was inspired. Okay, now that one was $22.99. This one was $17.95. And this one I was inspired by Shani over at Color with Shani Blue. And it is the Joanna Basford World of Wonders coloring book. This is really heavy paper, so these could definitely be put, you could either frame them or they could be put in journals as journal pages. I'm excited about this book. I think I have one other one that is this quality over in my coloring book stash, but they were picking out prompts for different things to color, and some of the prompts were in this book, and I was inspired to buy this by Shani Blue. I will leave her link down below also. Now it's the life updates, y'all. Okay. So, life updates. I have not heard from the endocrinologist. I still waiting for a call from the nurse. I am done with the rheumatologist for now. She will be, I had one marker for rheumatoid arthritis, but she said she will just keep an eye on that, and probably, I think I go back in 6 months and she may retest for, you know, just to make sure that nothing has changed. We'll see. And she said that if I have severe pain in my hands again, to call her and she will see if she can help me. That was her main concern, was that the pain that I had in my hands, which isn't completely gone, but it's better. The steroids is what I'm really hoping for, because the steroids seem to work better than anything else right now. I also saw a pain management doctor last week, and he put me on pain medicine, and he said I could take it 3 times a day. I'm trying to work my way, trying to work through not doing that and leaving that as an option if I have a really bad day. So I'm still taking it twice a day. Every 8 hours is what I can do, but I'm taking it twice a day, and that so far has been helping a lot. And then I had MRIs done. Now I did see my results. I don't understand what I'm looking at, other than I have bulging discs in both my neck and my lower back. It showed 3 different bulging discs in my neck and 4 or 5 in my lower lumbar. Yeah. No, from the wordage, you know, the wordage, there weren't any herniated discs. Thank you, Lord. or whoever, thank you for not having herniated. I don't know what the treatment's going to be. I don't know if there's anything they can do for bulging discs. It's my understanding they cannot. There was a distinction in the wordage between what I think is degenerative disc and have been told was degenerative disc and something that is now called degenerative facet disease, which is different than degenerative in some way that I don't totally understand and probably will, because I go back to the doctor next Friday, and I will on the 18th. So if you were following and you knew that I was going out of town, that has been canceled for now. I will not be going out of town now until November. So I don't want to say anything more about that other than my daughter was going to have a procedure and I was going to go, and she's still having a procedure, but now it's in November. And so she's fine, everything's fine, except they've had viruses again this last couple weeks, and it's just been not fun. So extra prayers for them, extra prayers for my daughter Carrie, who is in Georgia in the aftermath of the hurricane. And I am thinking about all of you in Florida, where Milton is on his way to come and wreak havoc on Florida. The biggest evacuation in history is going on in Florida. The evacuation itself is very dangerous and not fun at all. People run out of gas. There's gas shortages. They can't, it's just, what a mess. And it's going to be an even worse mess after. So that side of the country and all of you, I'm thinking about you, and I am so sorry you're having to go through this. My daughter has electricity again and everything, so she's doing okay as far as I know. Haven't really heard from her in a few days, but as far as I know, she's doing fine. She and I have not been talking much this last year. Our relationship has been strained. If you're watching, honey, I love you, and I love all y'all. I want you to know that. I appreciate you watching my videos. I hope that you are making some fun stuff, and tell me what you're working on. Go check out some of the people I've talked about. Pull off one of these patterns at Hobby Lobby and do that pattern, because you could also go to the Hobby Lobby website to do that pattern. Yeah. I'm thankful for my new internet, which allows me to upload these videos a whole lot faster than I did in the past. And so I'm not going to do a lot of editing. I'm going to insert some stuff in between and stick it all together and then upload it. And so not a lot of editing here, just throwing it all together is really, and I love it. I love that I can do that now with you guys. Come see me on Friday night. I have my notes already done, all the way up to chapter 13, I believe, in Dead Ends. That is the book that was written about Eileen Warnos, and that is Friday night's A Stitch in Crime. We're also doing a side read now, and the first side read, which was chosen by Mr. Fiber, is The Red Pony by John Steinbeck, and I've got a couple chapters in on it. So yeah, lots of fun having. And then Saturday night we will do planners again, and maybe next week we can do some painting and some stuff for maybe one of my kits. I don't know yet. We'll see. But one day next week we're going to do something like that too. I want to do some coloring. There's just all kinds of stuff I want to do. Anyway, I'm going to go rest because it's a cold. Cold and allergies. Nothing serious, but not fun. I have no appointments until next week as far as I know. So lots of crafting. I'm going to try to finish this sweater for Elena and get it ready to go so I can start the purple one. So y'all, y'all take care, okay? And I will see you later. Have fun today. Love y'all. Sending you hugs. Take care.